What's up, guys? This is YGO Silence coming at you with another deck profile. Today I'm going to be showing you my Darklord Timelord Deck Profile, or Dark Timelords. Now this deck is extremely effective because it offers an incredible defense and a very strong offense in the Darklord archetype. The new Timelord support that came out today with Battles of Legend is incredible. Alright, I'm very excited. Now, in this deck I do have two proxies in there, and my side deck is not complete because I literally just finished opening my Battles of Legends pack. Now, before you guys go off saying, well, how do you know this deck works if you just opened the pack and just got the cards? The past few months I've been testing this online in YGO Pro. I'm very confident in this deck. I do think it works very well. And the side deck is very important in this deck, is one thing I want to also point out. The way it works is flowing, all right, like a river, kind of. And once you know what your opponent plays, you immediately alter your deck heavily in the side deck and what Time Lords you play. So anyway, that being said, let's get right into this video. Now, start off, you run 3 Ixchil. All right, of course, you know, Ixchil, best card in the deck, all right? Ixchil is extremely powerful, allows you to get your Dark Lords in, and it's part of your draw engine. Now, also, I do want to say, you do not need really an extra deck. In fact, a lot of times, I would not recommend going into the extra deck. Instead opting for the heavier field presence with Dark Lords, but you can run an extra deck. Alright, anyway. 3 Superbia, good Ixchil target. 2 Nostin, you only run 2 Nostin, and 2 Zerato. I opted for another Zerato because of his Regeki-like effect. Also, he's an 8 and a lure target, which is nice to have. Alright, so these are all the Dark Lord monsters you play. Next, we're going into the Time Lords. Alright, you run 3 Time Maiden. Now, like I said, these are my 2 proxies. I only pulled 1 Time Maiden. Time Maiden is absurd, alright? You could special summon her if you have no monsters on your side of the field. Alright, that's cool. It doesn't take your normal summon. Then you can tribute her to add a Time Lord from your deck to your hand. So, because you run 3 Time Maiden, you pretty much run 4 of every Time Lord in this deck. Alright, because you could search it so effectively. And then you could play, pretty much, you could use your normal summon on that Time Lord. And then, when Time Maiden is in the graveyard, you can banish this card from your graveyard, and then special summon 1 Time Lord monster with 0 attack from your deck, ignoring its summoning conditions. So all the Time Lords say you can't special summon it from the deck. That is ignored with Time Maiden. And also, the one thing I didn't like, though, which is actually really good, otherwise this card would be overpowered and probably be banned like as soon as possible, is that it says with 0 attack, so you can't do Cephalon, the 4,000 attack beater that lets you, Monster Reborn once per turn, any fairy, so that would be broken. But Time Maiden, very, very good. It allows you to get your Time Lords to your hand very fast. Next, you run 1 Camion. Camion's absurd. At the end of the battle phase, if this card battled, so pretty much the way Time Lords work is they cannot be destroyed by battle or card effect, and you take no damage from attacks involving them. So you attack in the battle phase. At the end of the battle phase, shuffle 1 card your opponent controls into the deck, and if you do, inflict 500 damage to your opponent. So it doesn't target, and then also neither player can activate cards or effects in response to this card's effect. And so it's pretty much untargeting, just shuffling something into the deck. It can't be negated, can't be destroyed. It's just absurd. It's great monster removal. 1 Zaphion. Zaphion shuffles all of your opponent's spells and traps back into the deck, alright? And then if this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can draw 1 card, and then at the end of your standby, or during your standby phase, shuffle this card into the deck. So I like the Time Lords also because they can't be destroyed by battle or card effect, and I can't take damage when I have them out. So pretty much what that means is you slap them down on the board and your opponent can't really get at you. It's kind of a defensive tactic. It's a wall that, unless they're running like Lyralusks or unless they cast Stell, you're really safe, all right? And so it's very strong to just drop a Time Lord, use the effect, and then just leave it out there. You don't have to continue your plays. You can control yourself and kind of pace out this how it works. So Zaphion, extremely effective against back row heavy decks. Paleozoic, it works extremely well against True Dracos. It's fantastic. Alright, Meteion. Meteion is stupid. Alright, I really like Meteion. I think this is the hardest counters to Zoo we have in the game, alright, to date. in that Medion, what it does is it battles. If this card attacked or was attacked, return as many monsters on the field as possible to the hand other than this card, and inflict 300 damage to your opponent for each card returned. So, in some decks, this isn't very strong. Just returning to the hand means they could just go off their play again. But with Zodiac, alright, they're all Xyz monsters. So, the Xyz monsters go back to the extra deck instead of going to the hand, because that's how the game works. And then all their materials go to grave. So pretty much, you wipe the field. They can't destroy this with Zodiac Trident. They can't stop you. You just clear their field. It's stupid. It's the hardest counter to Zodiac in the game. I think if you're playing Zoo, there's some stuff I'm going to explain to you based on matchups, but how you alter this lineup. Also, you run one Sadion. Sadion is good in Darklord Time Lords, because if this card battles, or if it was attacked or attacked at the end of the battle phase, and your life points is less than 4,000, your life points become 4,000. So it's pretty much a wall, and it'll heal you if you're low. It's kind of nice to have, but depending on what you're playing, you would swap Sadion out for either Zaphion or Medion. I don't run more than one Camion, because that's just, it's too bricky. But if you're playing a back row heavy deck, side out Sadion and Medion and do 2 more Zaphion. And if you're doing like a very spammy type of deck, side out Zaphion and Sadion and do 2 Medion. But I just like starting with Sadion because it's a safe, protective card. So anyway, that is your Time Lords. And then you just run 2 Christia. It's a trade-in target. It's nice to lock out your opponent. And then Time Lords are also normal summonable, so, well, it's only if you have no monsters on the field, so it doesn't really work with that, but Christia is still good to have in any Darklord deck. Next, the Darklord spells, you run 3 Contact, 3 Banishment, standard stuff, Banishment, Contact, very excellent cards, awesome to have, definitely 3 of each. Alright, time for the draw engine, which is very large. 3 Allure, 3 Trade-In, 3 Advanced Draw. So, Advanced Draw is really nice. You know, Trade-In, Allure, they're in all my other Darklord deck profiles. They're all dark. There are a ton of 8s in this deck. Those are standard. Advanced Draw is kind of nice because it lets you work around some of your, with some of your Time Lords. So, for example, Zaphion is cool because if this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you draw 1 card. So you draw 2 from Advance, and then you draw 1 from Zaphion's effect. So that's 3 cards, alright? So you're plussing 1 off that. But it just means you use the effect of the Time Lord. At the end, in your main phase 2, you use Advanced Draw. Alright, you get 2. Alright, you go off your place from there. It's very effective to clear your opponent's field, do something to them, stop them, shuffle a big monster from their field back into their deck, something that you couldn't get around. Advanced Draw, go, you know, get some new cards in your hand and go to work, all right? It's very effective. 12 cards out of this 40-card deck is draw power, counting these 9, and then Ixchil. It's just extremely consistent, extremely powerful. These monsters in this deck are stupid powerful. I love this deck. 1 Foolish, 1 1-for-1, 1 Soul Charge. Soul Charge is great in this deck. Foolish Burial lets you get Darklord Christia, lets you get Time Maiden. 1-for-1 lets you add a Time Maiden, or summon a Time Maiden from your deck. Really nice. You want to see Time Maiden as much as possible because it allows you to effectively get 2 free Darklord, or 2 free Time Lords. It's actually kind of, you know, it's a tongue twister. It's Dark Lords and Time Lords. They're both fairies. They're very similar in how they play. These archetypes were made for each other, in my opinion, like almost perfectly. And then 3 Celestial Transformation. These are kind of nice. All right, and this is my cheeky tech that works extremely well with Time Lords. All right, so you set this card like a trap, all right? Special summon 1 fairy-type monster from your hand, have the attack of that monster, and destroy it during the end phase. Well, let me explain why that is absurd. So let's go with Zaphion. All right, Zaphion's one of my favorites, by the way. But let's say you just set Celestial Transformation and Pash. pass. All right. Your opponent, goes off its place and tries to attack. Activate Celestial Transformation. Summons Atheon. Its attack of 0 is halved. Whoa, it's at 0. So your opponent, if they attack, still, all their back row is shuffled. They don't destroy Zaphion. You take no damage. It's just a wall. And then at the end of the turn, Zaphion is destroyed. Oh, wait. This card cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. So you get a free wall that stays, all right? Now, it doesn't really matter in that it's not destroyed at the end phase because it shuffles back into the deck. But it's very protective, all right? This Celestial Transformation is a strong card. Also, it works with Darklords. Like, let's say you have an Ixchel in hand and you're out of contacts or out of banishments and you need to get to those. All right, you just Celestial Transformation, put Ixchel on the field, pay 1,000, and then you could use one of them from the grave, all right? So it allows you to kind of go off your plays when you don't have some of your combo pieces. Celestial Transformation is extremely effective. Alrighty. Now let's go into this extra deck. You don't run any traps, by the way. You don't need them because those Time Lords are just huge walls. And you want some speed of play. Traps, I find, are a little slow. 2 Lancelot, 1 Hope Harbinger. These are just, some stun factors. They're really nice to have. Dragon Overlord, Zombie Stein, Galaxy Full Armor, and then 2 number 62. You do have some open space. You can run 10s. You could work with that a little bit. I would not recommend Exeasing for 10 because you want to keep your Time Lords out. You can, if you're going to shuffle them back in at the end of the turn and you really need the 10. Ixchel's a 10. If you want to put Darklord Desire in, it's a 10. There's a lot of stuff you could do. This deck is extremely effective. I highly recommend it. This will be the deck I'm probably going to be playing most of Link format to start off. It's extremely effective. Even now, I think when the game slows down with Link monsters, this deck is going to be brutal. Time Lords are definitely going to be a force to be reckoned with for this foreseeable future. Either, get on board, understand the Time Lords, or you're going to get run over by them. You really just... Castell's going to be a huge deal. A lot of these cards that, can out Time Lords are going to become very powerful. And Time Lords themselves are not a joke, all right? You guys need to watch out for them. I'm calling it right now, some sort of Time Lord deck, some sort of Time Lord variant, it's going to splash into something that's going to win some regionals, all right? Now, anyway, guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe. It really helps me out, and I'll see you next time.